Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Wednesday, the 2nd of November, 2022. I'm Don Collins. I'm the voice of reason and wisdom and insight and diplomacy and reality and truth and all things correct when it comes to who should be the next head coach at Nebraska. I can say that because this is my show, The Don Collins Show. When Casey Thompson went down with that injury against Illinois, the fortunes of Casey Thompson, the team for that game, the season, and Mickey Joseph, the program, everything took a hard left turn at that moment. If you watch the game, you realize that was it. I mean, it was painful to watch after that. It was at least plausible, right, that Nebraska could have won that game. You win that game, you go 3-2 for Mickey Joseph. 2 more games, they're 6-6 on the year. Mickey Joseph has a winning record as the interim coach. They go to a bowl game, who knows what happens. And most importantly, it shuts up all the people flapping their gums saying that Mickey Joseph needs more wins and more experience to be head coach. It really doesn't matter now because the chances of Nebraska, if you thought they were slim to none that Nebraska would go to a bowl game before Casey Thompson was injured, well, the chances of slim and none have just changed dramatically. Slim has left the building. He took the early flight home after the Illinois game, at halftime at the Illinois game, and now the chances are closer to none than Slim. The folks who don't want him to be coach all breathed a heavy sigh of relief, I gotta be honest, when they saw Casey Thompson go down because they knew that was the one way you could ensure that Mickey Joseph wouldn't be the next official head coach at Nebraska. Trev Alberts has a lot of pressure on him, and he's got a lot of donors talking to him. I'm sure he's got a lot of folks that work with him who are saying, Trev, you got to get it right, you got to get it right. And Mickey Joseph isn't the guy, because wins and losses scoreboard, you got to go with a safe hire. And Mickey Joseph, even I have to admit, would not be at this point the safe hire, although he might be the right hire, the right guy for the job. It's going to be hard for Trev to make that choice. There's a lot of candidates out there that people have put up to consider, and they all have their pros and cons, pluses and minuses. But I'm going to give you a head coach that I think solves or checks all the boxes you need to check and solves a problem, a perception problem. I would, if I was Trev Alberts, in fact, I've got a pen right here. I will mail this, I will mail this to Trev Alberts, this exact pen, and have him hand this to Deion Sanders. I would sign Deion Sanders to a big, fat, huge contract. The dude's a proven winner with 3 years at head coach. Jackson State is now 19-2 in the last 2 seasons, including 8-0 this season. I would sign Deion Sanders fast. The ink would not dry. You can't sign that contract fast enough or get that pen in his hands to sign that contract fast enough. Deion would be great for recruiting, just like Mickey Joseph. Deion obviously knows how to coach. You can't argue against that. He's got a good win-loss record. You can't argue against that. He is the quintessential hard worker, disciplinarian, old school dude. Deion Sanders knows how to win. He's got an electric personality. And now I'm still on the Mickey Joseph bandwagon. But as that bandwagon seems to be losing some wheels, I have to be honest with you, I'm going to sort of put one foot over in Deion Sanders' camp, and here's why. He checks every box I've heard everyone complain about in some form or fashion. And he also checks another box. He's black. Which I know some of y'all say don't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It might not matter to you. But as I said in my Black Elephant video, for those for whom it is an issue, it's a big issue. And Nebraska has a chance to do something now in 130 years they've never done. I'm not talking about the chance of a lifetime. I'm talking about Nebraska's chance to do something in multiple lifetimes. Nebraska can hire a black coach, a guy that's qualified, who's a winner, who's a disciplinarian, who would be electric with the media, is great in front of a camera. I hear people talking about Mickey Joseph. He doesn't sound good in front of the press. Nobody sounds better than Deion Sanders. You talk about putting a spotlight on Nebraska and bringing recruits in. Deion will do something that no other coach is either qualified to do or could do besides Deion Sanders, and he checks the box of being a black coach. I know to some of you it doesn't matter, and for those of you that keep saying that you're not listening to me, I know it doesn't matter to you, but to those for whom it does matter, there's no reason not to hire Deion. And one final point about Deion. He could bring with him his son Shador, who is I know when I say this, I'm going to hear that it's an FCS, it's against FCS competition. I know, but you can't blame the kid for playing against the teams he plays against. But Shedeur would be a Heisman candidate. Look at his numbers. There's 24 touchdowns so far this year, 5 interceptions, 71% completions. So think about this. You could get Deion, you could get Shedeur, you get the recruiting, you get all the experience boxes checked and the wins and the losses, and he's a black coach. And here's the deal. I know that when I say this, some of you will still complain, and the one thing you'll complain about is he doesn't have enough experience in the Big Ten. Right? Is that it? Is that where the goalposts have moved? Brother, if your goalpost is now moved to it's not enough Big Ten experience, then you got two things. Number one, you have to explain Scott Frost, and number two, maybe some of those black players are correct. You know, I don't want to believe it. It's not what I believe, but maybe there's an unconscious bias that some of y'all have that no matter what the coach could or couldn't or did or didn't do on the field, you'll still say no, unless his skin tone is something, maybe between the shade of the freckles and the skin of my arms. Deion Sanders in Lincoln, that's my new choice. I'm still with Mickey Joseph, the Black Elephant. Do not get me wrong. I want Mickey Joseph. The tide's turning. If Nebraska can't pull it out, I hope Trev Alberts will pull out this pen and sign Deion Sanders, bring Deion and Shedeur to Nebraska, and let's start winning starting in 2023, because I think that's what would happen. Thanks for watching. Take care. Subscribe, share, whatever, comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. I love all the comments y'all leave, even the bad ones. Take care. I'll see you next video. Peace out.
What happens when a Power 5 school says, give us a number, we'll make it work?
I'm going to have to entertain it.
You are?
Yes, I'm going to have to entertain it. Straight up. Well, I would be a fool not to.